some of the evidence heard with regards to this legislation. Firstly, by the Professional Association Self-Caterers UK Cymru. They say this: no cumulative impact assessment has been carried out despite 19 concurrent interventions affecting the sector, and despite ministers being fully aware of the scale of the attack on Welsh self-catering business. Now, the use of the word attack is extremely strong. It represents that body's perception that this bill is another hit on self-catering businesses and a further erosion of trust in the Welsh Government and in this Senedd. And that negativity is not isolated. North Wales Tourism wrote, significant concerns persist regarding the cumulative regulatory burden on an industry already facing unprecedented challenges. And West Wales Holiday Cottages explained that this bill does not reflect the current downturn, 29% fall in overnight stays from 2022-2024, or the fragility of sector confidence. Now, Cabinet Secretary, such evidence does give us pause for thought when considering one of the main aims of this bill is to promote tourism. I am concerned, as the chairs of the committees have already mentioned, about the legislative process followed up to now. The accelerated timetable for stage 1 scrutiny limited, as Andrew R.T. Davis said, the opportunity for thorough consultation and evidence gathering. In fact, so short was the public consultation that representative bodies such as the National Residential Landlord Association and Short-Term Accommodation Association say that they were unable to undertake detailed consultation of their members. And in fact, nobody here today knows how many short-term lets are there in Wales. We have no clear picture of the level of compliance, only anecdotal reports. Further evidence of this is that the bill is yet another piece of Welsh legislation which relies heavily on regulations. For example, it is left for a future Welsh Government, and as Alan Davis mentioned, an unelected future Welsh Government, to regulate on informing visitor accommodation providers in advance of their intention to give a revocation notice. It is also left for a future Welsh Government to decide on allowing licences to be considered as having effect until a decision on the application is made. And it is left for a future Welsh Government to decide whether provisional licences will be allowed. In fact, this legislation even leaves it for a future Welsh Government to decide on provisions about death, incapacity, insolvency, and the sale of a business to another visitor accommodation provider. I'm also concerned that the legislation does not achieve the aim of the bill, and that is to create a more level playing field. For example, why is the bill excluding people renting out spare rooms? As Travel Chapter and Sykes Holiday Cottages highlighted, they will be higher risk than traditional short-term operators. Across this capital, there are 335 private rooms, spare rooms listed on Airbnb. As it stands, these 335 rooms will not need a licence. I believe this is a gap in the legislation. I'd like to know more about that, Cabinet Secretary. I recognise the potential benefits of a well-designed scheme, including improved guest safety, raised quality standards, and a more professional sector. And therefore, I will be voting in favour of the general principles today, but I hope I've made clear my concerns on the way this legislation has developed, and that the Senedd should have been given more time, that robust data should have been collected, and more detail should be in the face of the bill. This and future Welsh Government needs to learn from this experience. Doing so, I believe, will tackle the negativity felt by some, at least, in the tourism sector towards this place. Diolch yn fawr.